I have some exciting news for you. I've been working hard to create something just for you, and it's officially live. It's a free quiz to help you determine your personal path to creating a successful digital course. That means by taking just 2 minutes to complete this quiz, you'll discover my 3 proven approaches for creating a profitable digital course, and you'll find out which one you should take based on your experience, expertise, and where you're at as an entrepreneur. Not only will you find out what path is best for you, I'll even give you a step-by-step framework for bringing your digital course to life. So head on over to amyporterfield.com/quiz right now to find out your next steps to creating a profitable business that you love. I mean it. Go take the quiz right now. Don't wait one more second. amyporterfield.com/quiz. Your future business and digital course is waiting for you to take this first step. I cannot wait to see what you create. So amyporterfield.com/quiz to get started creating your stellar and profitable digital course. All right, let's jump into today's episode. Well, hey there. Welcome back to another episode of the Online Marketing Made Easy podcast. I'm your host, Amy Porterfield. And as always, I'm thrilled that you're tuning in. Now, if you've been around for a bit, then you know my motto is always be list building. Now, while there are all kinds of list building strategies, there's one that's by far the easiest way to grow your email list. And that's by offering a lead magnet. So for my newbies out there, a lead magnet is just a valuable piece of content like a cheat sheet or a guide or a mini training video that you give to your audience for free in exchange for their name and email. And a lead magnet helps you grow your email list of subscribers. But our conversation today is no ordinary conversation around lead magnets. We're going to talk about a specific type of lead magnet that not only builds your email list full of valuable, engaged subscribers, but also provides a direct path to your subscriber becoming a paying customer. So we're going to talk about revenue today, generating profits with your list building efforts. At the end of the day, we all want our businesses to be profitable. And that's precisely why I want to have this discussion with you, because you can definitely tie your list building efforts to your bottom line, but we need to get intentional to do so. And when you get intentional with this strategy, you're going to see that your list is generating revenue for you more quickly than it might be doing right this minute. So we can kind of boost your strategy with what I'm going to teach you here today. Now, it's totally okay if you're not ready to sell just yet. If you're in a place that you're just starting out in your business, you're just starting to grow your email list, you're just starting to build your presence online, then you're likely not ready to launch a program or a product just yet. And like I said, that's totally fine. What you'll learn here today are strategies that will help you look ahead to future pace in your business so that when you're ready to sell a digital course or a program of any kind, you know how to use your list building efforts to generate revenue. So if you're just starting out, pay close attention, and you're going to use these strategies in the near future. And if you already have something to sell, then you can put this strategy into place today. And just like everything I teach you in business, there's always a mindset shift component that we've got to talk about. Now, this one mindset shift is something that many people who are growing their email list and launching programs online are currently missing in their overall marketing arsenal. So we're going to touch on a mindset shift that I think is going to change how you approach list building, and that can make all the difference to your bottom line. So with that, I'm going to arm you with 3 questions that I want you to really investigate and ask yourself so that you can start moving toward creating a lead magnet that will be incredibly valuable for your audience, but also make you money more quickly. Good. So we're going to get into these 3 questions. And just like all of my mini training episodes, I'm going to give you some examples so that what I'm teaching will be more tangible for you. We'll kind of bring it to life. Good? Okay, before we get there, as always, I want to do a listener shout out. This one is to Crystal Profit, who left a 5-star review in iTunes. Thank you so much for that. And as a side note, Crystal happens to be one of my B-School bonus members. She's a total go-getter. She's making moves. She's changing things up in her business. And I love working with her in my private B-School group because she actually takes action, which is, of course, a dream come true for any course creator, right? We love to see our students actually take action on the advice we give them. Crystal is a perfect example of somebody who's doing so. So Crystal, first of all, shout out to you for making things happen. And this is what she said. She left a really sweet note. Crystal says, y'all, I love saying that because I never say that. Y'all, Amy's podcast is amazing. Don't spin your wheels anymore wondering how to create a sustainable online platform. Amy lays it all out for you. And to top it off, she's created binge-worthy episodes that walk you step by step through the most important processes for your business. No more wasting money on things that might work. Instead, focus on Amy's proven strategies for list building, course creation, and developing deeper connections with your audience. That was beautifully written, and I really appreciate it, Crystal. You just made my day. Thank you so much for the encouraging words. Okay, guys, before we jump into today's episode, where I am going to walk you through some step-by-step processes in order to create a lead magnet that will make you money, I wanted to let you know that this episode is sponsored by my free masterclass all about list building. How perfectly positioned is that? So I have a free masterclass that will help you kickstart your list building efforts. So if you're just starting from scratch and you don't know where to start, or if you've been spinning your wheels thinking, I'm trying to grow my list, this is not happening, something is just not working properly, you got to get on my free masterclass. I'll give you the tools and techniques to get started in the right direction so you won't waste your time and you will start to see your list grow every single day. Go to amyporterfield.com/list building. That's amyporterfield.com/list building to jump on my free masterclass and get that list growing ASAP. Good? Okay. So with my free masterclass and what you're going to learn on today's episode, you will be a list building machine. Are you ready for it? Let's get to it. Did you know that 99% of the people who give you their name and email in exchange for your lead magnet are not ready to buy? And guess what? That's okay. They may not be ready right when they sign up to get your freebie, your lead magnet, but if you play your cards right, they will eventually be ready to buy from you. The great news is that you have the ability to lead them down that path to becoming a paying customer. And it starts with a very specific intention behind your lead magnet. In order to understand what the perfect lead magnet will be for your business, it's critical that you create it with the end goal in mind. And your end goal as a business owner is to attract paying customers, to get more people to buy your stuff. So here's the deal. You could have a lead magnet right now that is incredibly valuable and your audience just absolutely loves it. But the problem is you've got something major missing. Your lead magnet is not properly aligned with what you're selling or plan to sell down the road. You're not moving your ideal customer down the path that will guide them into becoming a paying customer. That's all going to change today. So first things first, let's address that mindset shift that I mentioned earlier. And this shift must happen in order for this exact strategy to work. So here it is. The goal of your lead magnet is not just to provide incredible value. Of course, providing value is always a given, right? But you could create the most amazing, stellar lead magnet ever. But if the value that that lead magnet provides has absolutely nothing to do with what your program, product, or service provides, what's the point? As I said, your lead magnet must provide incredible value. However, here's the twist to the mindset shift. Your lead magnet should provide incredible value while leading your new subscriber to a buying decision. That's what's usually missing. So let me say it one more time. Your lead magnet should provide incredible value while leading your new subscriber to a buying decision sooner than later. So the goal, a value-packed, profit-driven lead magnet. That's what I'm going to encourage you to create today. Good? All right. So I want to share some very specific real world examples of what this would look like possibly in your business. But before we get to my examples, I want you to consider these 3 questions. And when you take the time to answer them, they will give you more clarity around this concept of a profit-driven lead magnet that also offers value. So question number 1, what do you currently sell or plan to sell in the future? So just for the record, if you're driving right now on the subway, working out, on that treadmill, moving that butt, then what I want you to do is later go over to my show notes, amyporterfield.com/271. And I'm going to list these questions and also show you examples that will help bring this all to life. So amyporterfield.com/271 will give you the details you need. So if you're just listening right now, I want you to kind of think about these questions. And if you can, just answer them out loud. So again, what do you currently sell or plan to sell in the future? The first question should take about 10 seconds to answer. If you already sell something, it may take a little bit longer if you're still kind of working that out. Either way, it's important that you really understand where you're going in terms of what you want to sell in order to make money in your business, because that's going to shape this profit-driven lead magnet. Okay, moving on to question number 2. This is so important, so you got to pay attention here. If you're multitasking, come back to me. This one is important. Number 2, what does your ideal customer avatar need to understand, be aware of, or believe in order to want or need your product, program, or service? You want me to repeat that one? Okay, here we go. What does your ideal customer avatar need to understand, be aware of, or believe in order to want or need your product, program, or service? This is the magic sauce, my friend. If you can ultimately position your product, program, or service as a doable and necessary solution to a need or desire, and you can communicate it in a way with starting the conversation with your lead magnet, then you're golden. So this concept of starting the conversation with your lead magnet, when I give you the examples, it's going to make more sense. So stay with me here. The third question to ask yourself after you've gotten clarity on the first 2 is this: what type of lead magnet could I create that will complement or align with the product, program, or service I currently sell or plan to sell? So once you figure out what you're going to sell, and then you ask yourself, well, what does my avatar really need to understand or believe in order to want to buy from me? And then third, okay, so now that I know that, what kind of lead magnet can I create that will complement or be aligned with what I want to sell? This is not rocket science, but it does take some creative and strategic thinking. It's sort of like a riddle for you to solve. The best way for me to show you, like I said, is with examples. So I want to go over 2 really good examples that I think will hit home with the concept. Again, in the show notes, amyporterfield.com/271. I'll list these questions again and show you my examples. I've got some images to show you with the specifics I'm going to give you. And one quick reminder before we dive in, while 99% of the people who download your lead magnet may not be ready to buy at this moment, they are looking for a solution to their immediate challenge or desire. So your lead magnet should be created to meet them right where they are right now. So think quick win, high value, and alignment with your product, program, or service. Good? Just keep that in mind. Okay, so this first example is one from my own business. You know, I teach what I do, and so I like to use a lot of examples from my own business. And I'll first describe what the lead magnet is and point out how it's a good representation of a lead magnet designed with this profit path in mind. Then I'm going to tell you a type of lead magnet that could have been created that would have offered immense value, but would not have been a good representation for a profit-driven lead magnet. So I'm going to give you some like real tangible takeaways. Good? Okay. So example number one is that I sell a course called List Builders Society. For all my students who have been with me for a while, it used to be called List Builders Lab. We've since changed the name, rebranded, re-recorded the entire course. So it's called List Builders Society. And this is a program where I teach my students how to build a highly engaged and profitable email list from scratch. So before my avatar, my ideal customer avatar, will be ready and excited to buy this course from me, I first need to help them understand how building an email list is the answer to building a thriving online business. And I need to make sure that they feel that the strategies that are necessary to build an email list are doable, something they are capable of doing on their own and even on a tight budget. So with that, to start the conversation where they are currently at right now, I created the 20 smart strategies to rapidly grow your email list cheat sheet. So let me repeat that. 20 smart strategies to rapidly grow your email list cheat sheet. So my ideal customer is wanting to build an online business, and they know an email list is definitely necessary. But they need some list building ideas and inspiration. They need to believe and feel that building an email list is doable for them. So even if your business is different than mine, one little secret here when you're thinking of a profit-driven lead magnet is to inspire. And you can do that by flooding someone with a lot of good ideas so that their creative juices start flowing and they think, oh, that could work in my business. If I tweak that just a little bit, I could apply that with what I'm doing. And when someone has a lot of ideas, they feel as though the strategy you're teaching or the concept is more doable. They start to get it. They start to put themselves in that situation. So kind of to hit home with this idea, here's a couple things why my lead magnet is a profit-driven lead magnet. So number one, my ideal customer can download it and immediately take action. This is incredibly empowering for them and provides the immense value that I want them to have from my content. So this immediate take action, download it now kind of feeling is really important. Number two, this cheat sheet shows the what to begin list building. And so my course is going to offer the how. And so I don't get into a lot of how-to details in the cheat sheet. I get into what it would look like, what the concept is all about, and again, a bunch of ideas to inspire. So do you see how this works? You begin the conversation with your lead magnet. And I told you I would get back to that. And I want to really make sure you understand that. When I say you begin the conversation, I want you to think right now, right this minute, what is my ideal customer avatar thinking, feeling? Where are they? And so remember question number two, what do they need to think or believe or understand or be aware of in order to eventually want to buy from me? So my audience needs to believe that growing an email list is vital to the success of their business. And they also need to believe that it is doable. This is something that they can do even on a tight budget, even starting from scratch. And so I ask you, where do you need to start the conversation? Like right now, if you look at your ideal customer avatar, that one woman or that one man that is perfect for the product you're currently selling or you want to sell, look at them right now and think, what are they thinking right now? What are they afraid of? What are their challenges? What are they feeling? What are they saying to themselves right now? And I'm going to meet them there. And then I'm going to go on this journey with them. I'm going to take them down a path that eventually leads to wanting to buy from me. Now, when I say take them on this path, let me give you some examples what that path would look like. So if somebody enters my world with this freebie, this cheat sheet, all about tons of ideas for list building, I'm also going to start emailing them once they're on my email list with links to my podcast. And on this podcast, just like today, I talk about list building. I talk about building your online presence. I talk about building a thriving online business. So not only are they getting that freebie, but I'm going to start emailing them every single week with a link to my latest podcast episode so that I can further the conversation with them. I can continue to reinforce the importance of having an email list with a lot of other things that I talk about on this podcast. I'm making that connection with them. I'm becoming their go-to source. So hopefully right now you just had an aha moment that you thought, oh, okay, the lead magnet's important, but continuing the conversation with my original weekly content, whether it be a podcast or a blog or a video show, is equally important because it allows you to continue the conversation. It's all a conversation, guys. It's so important that we get into conversation with our ideal customer avatar. And I know the conversation is very one-sided. I'm talking, you're not, but it's that connection. When I say conversation, I mean that connection where I'm offering value and I'm hoping that you're having a lot of aha moments go off in your head. Like, oh, I get it. Okay. I see how this is all starting to fit together. This is doable for me. So it starts with your lead magnet and hopefully continues with your weekly original content until you invite them, let's say, onto a webinar where you sell your course, or until you invite them into a challenge where you eventually sell whatever you're selling, or until you invite them to check out your 3-part video series. So you're going to eventually invite them to the next step that will lead to you selling. But we've got to first meet them where they're at. And that's what a profit-driven lead magnet looks like. Okay, so let me give you an example of what a really good, valuable lead magnet would look like in this situation, but it's not profit-driven. It's not intentional enough in terms of making me money down the road. You ready? Okay, so I could have the lead magnet be a cheat sheet that helps my audience choose an email service provider to grow their email list. So I could give them a cheat sheet and I outline what it takes to find a really good email service provider, the software, and then how to get it set up and how to get the ball rolling. Now, that is a very valuable cheat sheet because my audience will need an email service provider in order to grow an email list. It's a necessary piece of software. However, that is not meeting them where they're at right now. It's way too overwhelming. It's way too soon to talk about the technology. It's way too much in the weeds. And quite honestly, it is not sexy. My students do not like the technology side of building an email list. I am very aware. If you're giving me an amen, thank you very much. I get it. So with that, I'm not starting the conversation there. I would either save something like that for inside my course, which I do talk about choosing an email service provider, or maybe that's more of an advanced lead magnet that I might offer down the road. But I don't even think I would do that. I would save that for the course, but I sure as heck wouldn't use that to start the conversation. So I ask you to really be mindful of this lead magnet that you're going to start the conversation with. And if it's overwhelming, if it's not sexy, if it's something that they need but don't want, that is not a profit-driven lead magnet. If anything, it's something that you save for inside your course because it's a necessary training, but it doesn't start the conversation. So just think about that when you come up with your awesome idea for a profit-driven lead magnet. Deal? Okay. One more thing before I give you the next example, and that is that you might be saying, okay, hold on, Amy, I'm confused because you have tons of lead magnets out there. So are they all profit-driven lead magnets? And the answer is no. Because I've been in this game for a long time, I have probably over 100 lead magnets. And most of them, if you know my style and you know my strategy, I bake them into my podcast episodes. So for example, a while back, I did an episode with my integrator, Chloe, and we did a podcast episode about how to hire an integrator, also known as a project manager. And in that episode, the freebie was a job description so that you could find an integrator for yourself. That's a really good lead magnet that was fully aligned with that episode. Super valuable, super actionable. It got tons of downloads. And for the record, if you're wondering, episode 159, so amyporterfield.com/159, how I found, hired, and work with my project manager. So really popular episode. However, that is not a profit-driven lead magnet. And the reason why it's not is because I don't plan to sell anything that's all about hiring. Like I don't have a standalone program that's going to lead to hiring or anything in that realm, at least not anytime in the near future. So I bring this up because it's good to have both. If you've been at this for a while, you likely will have specific lead magnets that are going to offer value and just really solidify your relationship and set you up as that go-to source overall in your market. And then you're going to have just a few profit-driven lead magnets. So I only have 2 different profit-driven lead magnets in my business. So they're very intentional, very specific, and sometimes I only bring them out during a launch. So that's another thing. If you do live launches like I do, you might create a profit-driven lead magnet just for that launch. Now, if I get really specific, I could even say that a webinar that sells a product, like I do webinars and I teach webinars to sell your digital courses, that could be considered a profit-driven lead magnet for sure. But you also might want to have a cheat sheet or checklist that comes before that webinar, or you start growing your list before you even open up that webinar. So you could have a profit-driven lead magnet even before you do your webinar. So for my advanced students, I wanted to make that really clear. For my newbie students or my newbie listeners to the podcast, if you're just getting started, I just want you to have a lead magnet. Let's give ourselves a little bit of grace and just say, look, I've got a lead magnet. I've got it hooked up properly. It's collecting leads. That's a first start. So I just to get things going, I'm all about it. But as you get more sophisticated in your marketing and as you get a little bit more confident about what you're creating, keep in mind that there is a difference between just a really good, valuable lead magnet in your business and a profit-driven lead magnet. There is a difference and there's a place for both. Good? Okay. Wanted to make that clear. Let's move on. Example number 2 is from weight loss coach Corinne Crabtree of Fit and Fat. And she's got the PMP Tribe, which is a membership site where she helps women lose weight. Now, you all know Corinne because I've talked about her on the show a bunch. She happens to be a student of mine, but more importantly, she is my weight loss coach. I've worked with her for over a year now. And what's great about Corinne is that I feel that her business model and the way she markets and her content really resonates with a lot of my listeners on this show. So I think you're going to really get this example at a deeper level. So that's why I chose this one. So are you ready for it? Okay. So Corinne, again, she has a membership site where she teaches women how to lose weight. So her profit-driven lead magnet is a free digital course. It's a mini course. It's called 3 Things You Must Know to Lose Weight. So before Corinne's ideal customer avatar will be ready and excited to join her membership site, to pay money to be a part of it, she first needs to help them understand that the way to lose weight is not actually likely what they're thinking. So a lot of the times when we want to lose weight, we think, okay, tell me what to eat, how much to eat, when to eat. Let's make it all about the food. Let's do this. And so before Corinne gets them into her world as a paying customer, she first needs to help them understand that that's not her model. That's not how she's going to help you lose weight. Now, this one's important because two things are going on here. Her profit-driven lead magnet, this idea of a mini course teaching you the things that you need to know to lose weight. One, she's going to make it very doable and actionable for you. I'm not going to give it away because this is her content, but the strategies she teaches in this free mini course, very doable, very eye-opening. Like, wait a second, that's going to help me lose weight, but they work. These techniques actually work. So number one, again, it's very doable and you can get started right away without paying a penny and start seeing results. Now, when someone starts to see results with your free lead magnet, you want to know what they do? They don't say, oh, I don't need your membership site. They say, if this is working for free, imagine if I really got in there and learned everything else this woman's going to teach me. Like, I can skyrocket my success. That's typically what people are thinking. So she gives people these 3 things you must know to lose weight. They can start applying them right away and start slowly just starting to see some results. That's a big deal. But also why I wanted to bring up Corinne's example is that her way of helping you lose weight is not about giving you a food plan, not about keto or counting points or anything like that. And she doesn't want you, and I know Corinne well, so I know this to be very true. I've heard her say it many times. She doesn't want you to join her membership site if you're going to be asking about keto every day. And she doesn't want you in her tribe if all you want to do is count calories and talk about the specific food and the amount of fats and micronutrients and all that stuff. That ain't how she does things. And so you need to make sure you want to learn from her as well. And that's something that I thought was an aha with a profit-driven lead magnet. Make sure you're attracting an audience that's going to be excited when they get into your course. Make sure you're attracting the right type of person. You do that with a really good intentional lead magnet. So that's just kind of a side note that I wanted you to really understand. The right lead magnet will also help you attract an audience that genuinely is going to be excited for how you teach, and what you do inside of your paid course. Good? So Corinne's going to start the conversation with her profit-driven lead magnet where her audience currently is right now. They're overweight, they're frustrated, they've tried every weight loss program in the book, and they have failed, or at least in their head, they're feeling as though they're a failure. And they're likely skeptical about yet another weight loss program. So that's where she's meeting them right now in the moment with her specific lead magnet. Now, here's a couple standout things that make this lead magnet really good. Number one, her free course name is so simple and so good. The 3 things you must know to lose weight. If I'm overweight and I am frustrated, I'm paying attention. Like, tell me right now. So the simple copy, the to the point copy here is important and it's good. Okay. The second reason why this lead magnet is so valuable is that when you sign up to get Corinne's free course, right away, you get to watch the first video. So you don't have to wait for it. You're in the moment, you're feeling, especially with weight loss, we tend to feel defeated, maybe a little desperate, like we're looking for something. So you sign up, boom, there it is. She gives it to you. There's something powerful about in the moment giving them what they asked for. So that video, that first video plays right away on her thank you page. I thought that was interesting. They're going to get more videos, so she's not giving it all away because if you know me, you know that I say, get them to go check their email. You want them to get into the habit of checking their email, opening up your emails and getting whatever it is you promised. And I still stand behind that. But there is something pretty magical about you want this training video? Here's video 1 right here on the thank you page. So in that first video, Corinne gets right in there and shares her story. She's lost 100 pounds. She has a really compelling journey that she went on. And so she shares it. She's connecting with her audience from the get-go. And also in that first video, she talks about the importance of not quitting when you feel like it's not working. And she talks about this valuable lesson in weight loss that when you fall off the bandwagon and when it gets tough, you just want to quit forever. And she encourages them to at least watch the remaining training videos that are going to be delivered in their email inbox in the coming days. So she kind of gives them a little pep talk as well. All of this right there on the thank you page. I thought that was brilliant. So of course they're going to go watch the next video, but they've got to go into their inbox and check their email. And number 3, her mini course includes a workbook. So she gives them plenty of information and training on beginning a weight loss journey. Now, what's interesting and really smart about this is that it might take them a few days to get through her mini training, and she's got a workbook, and there's some things they need to do to get those results. But the thing is, Corinne does not have a revolving door with her membership site, meaning that you can only join her membership site a few times a year. And she keeps that window really tight, meaning 3 or 4 days, the cart's open and you can join her membership site, then it closes. So it's a coveted spot and it only opens up a few times a year. So the path to profitability for Corinne is actually, that path is kind of long. Someone might be on her list for months and months until she opens the doors again. And she really benefits from that. I know Corinne well, and I won't share her numbers, but I don't think she'd mind me saying that the girl kills it in sales. Like, people rush to get into her membership site. And you guys remember there was an episode I did with Stu McLaren, right? Where he talked about you've got to put urgency and scarcity to opening the cart and closing the cart. If you really want to see your numbers soar, you've got to have that scarcity. And Corinne does just that. But what she gets to do is she gets to start the conversation right where they're at. She gives them some actionable tools in a free digital course. For the record, not to toot my own horn, but she learned how to create that digital course that is crushing it in leads with my program all about how to create a course. So she used my program on how to create a course for her free course, which I thought was really cool. And it's very well done. And so I just want to put it out there that even if you have a long runway till when you're going to open the cart, this type of strategy still works really well. Good stuff, right? Are you seeing now how it all works together? All amazing value, whether her ideal customer ended up joining the membership or not, they walked away with great value, but also she's able to position the next step so very well, all very intentional. Now, real quick, let's talk about a lead magnet that Corinne could have offered, and it would have offered amazing value, but it wouldn't be considered a profit-driven lead magnet. You want to talk about that just real quick? Okay, so I was laying in bed thinking about this, and it just came to me, and I thought, ooh, this is a good example. So what I was thinking was she could have created a lead magnet that was a quick start guide, how to meal prep to lose weight effortlessly. Let's just pretend that that was the name of it. She's probably cringing as she's listening right now, but how to meal prep to lose weight rapidly, or whatever I just said. You get the point. So if she created a meal prep guide, which she does talk about meal prepping on her podcast and in her tribe. Like, this is a topic that she encourages her ladies to do. But if she started the conversation there, she would attract a bunch of people that would want to talk about the food. And she would not even be addressing her core principles, the model that she uses. Now, for the record, her model includes some action items. Let me give you a hint. One is around getting enough sleep. Like, that's going to be talked about in her free mini series. But also she talks about the mindset. And so she gives you some tactical, easy solutions, but also she shifts your mindset. So that's her free mini training, her digital course. But if she started with a quick start guide to meal prep, it would just be the wrong conversation that she wanted to have in the beginning. There's so many things you want to talk about later once somebody has bought into your model or your concept. But be careful of where you start the conversation, because it's really hard to get somebody to see the way you want to teach it and to get their mindset in the right place if you start the conversation in the wrong place. And so are you getting that? Why meal prep is a great topic to talk about, but not to begin the conversation, because it starts to foster a conversation down a road that until they know her principles, she's not going to want to have that conversation with them. So I felt like this example just of Corinne in general and what she could have done and what she did do is a really good example for you to consider for your own business as well. There's a lot of lead magnets you can create that will add value, but there's only a few that are very intentional, that will start the conversation in the right place, that will attract the right kind of customer that will eventually want to buy from you. And that's what I want you to focus on. So here's the deal. I always say, have a little grace. You might not nail it the first time out, but now that you've got this concept, if you are developing a digital course, shout out to all my Digital Course Academy students. I know many of you are getting very, very close to launching your first digital course. This is a great conversation for you right now, starting to think about a profit-driven lead magnet, one that will genuinely start to make you money once you attract the right audience and start the conversation in the right place. So there you have it. I hope you found this valuable. I'm going to link to these examples in the show notes. I'm going to list those questions that I want you to think about. amyporterfield.com/271. All the details are there. So now let's go ahead and wrap this up. Before I let you go, if you are struggling with your list building, or if you haven't even started, or you don't even know what to do to get started, you've got to check out my free masterclass all about list building, amyporterfield.com/list building. I'm going to tell you how to get started, what it takes, what the big picture looks like, so you really understand how to integrate list building into your business. So check it out, amyporterfield.com/list building, totally free. Okay, guys, thanks so very much for tuning in. I will see you same time, same place next week. Bye for now.